Russia.
I'm just going to pause this right here. This man said that Russia produces 3-to-1 missiles, mortars, and tanks to the United States. No. You're retarded. You're a Russia bootlicker.
It's not owned by private corporations. Private corporations whose primary duty is not to produce quantities of weapons. It's not to produce great weapons. It's not even to produce weapons that the Department of Defense wants. It's to produce weapons and systems that give the greatest gains to the shareholders. And
I don't think this guy understands the way that the American industrial complex works. Hey, Grand Wizard Man, one moment. I'm gonna go ahead and just say this. The reason why America is better than Russia in any military way, the reason why we are still the #1 country on this planet and why everyone fears us and calls us the Great Satan, is because they know what we can do. I kid you not. These bootlicker accounts are insane.
And the way the military, the industrial complex works, the way the weapons...
And let me go ahead and break this down for you. The reason why our taxes are so high in America is because that shit goes right into the military. And let me go and put it this way. Do you want to know why our military is corporatized? Do you know why? It's really easy to tell. Guess why? Because whoever makes the best product out of a batch gets that contract. Out of an entire batch, we test. We test and we test and we test, and we look for what is the best possible option. Now, SIG P320 being adopted by the Air Force now, that's just fucking hilarious. But honestly, I put that on bureaucracy more than anything. It's like, oh, SIG's willing to, pay some random bureaucrat within the fucking army to accept it or whatever, or, Air Force to accept it or whatever. Yeah, that just happens. Oh well. Too bad some bad things happen. But at the same time, there's a reason why America's weapons are still considered some of the best in the world, and on top of that, why we outproduce Russia in nukes, we outproduce them in tanks, we outproduce them in ammunition, we outproduce them in functional weaponry, and on top of that, we outproduce them in GDP alone. Russia is nothing to America.
Procurement system in the United States works is not necessarily what's best for the military or what the military wants. It all boils down to which corporation was able to bribe which politician into signing the bill to get this.
There's a lot of bots in here. I'm a US vet and I'm in agreement with you. Shut up.
To get this program pushed through, like the F-35 is a really good example. The F-35, an aircraft nobody wants, an aircraft that you can't even get 25% of them into the air at any given.
You can't even get 25% of them in the air? Yeah, no, that's the funny thing. If you think we crash almost every single fucking week, yeah, there's a reason for that. Do you know why? Because whenever one crashes, we build 5 more. We got 5 more, and you want to know the best part is? Our pilots get to walk away from that crash. Unlike people in Russia. In Russia, you don't get to walk away from that crash. Why? Because you're an asset. And if the enemy captures you, you're a discarded asset. It don't matter, dude. It don't matter. Your entire country is dog shit. Nobody likes communism.
Time, and you spent trillions on this fucking program. Trillions on this piece of shit. That's why the U.S. ends up with so many of these goddamn boondoggles, because it's all profit-driven, privately owned corporations instead of state-owned.
It's all instead of state-owned. Yeah, you want to know why? Because it's called freedom. If you don't like it, boo-hoo. Go suck on Putin's nutsack if you really fucking feel that way. Because America won't. 90% of Americans, the people who actually think properly and actually have a brain, I gotta say this. They won't agree with you. Freedom is scary, get over it.
Corporations like it is in Russia and China. Okay, Edward, believe what you want to believe, but you know, all I can say is you live in a fantasy world. The best in logistics, that's why we rule war. Well, tell me the last war you won. Tell me the last war you won.
Our most recent one, where we bombed a bunch of terrorists and had that war over in under 24 hours. Project Praying Mantis, Market Garden. Well, that one's back in World War II, but, you know, still successful. But Praying Mantis is more recent. We won that one.
It seems to me like you kind of run away from every country. You go what the U.S. does. You go into like usually defenseless third world countries that can't really fight back. They don't have the means to fight back. Those are the countries the U.S.
Russia doesn't have the means to fight back. China doesn't have the means to fight back. Nobody in the world has the means to fight back against the United States, and that's just a fact.
Picks on, right? They never pick on a peer adversary. They would never go face to face with Russia or China. No fucking way. They go to face with these little third world countries that don't have any air defense. They go there, they bomb the shit out of the countries.
Iran has air defense. You want to know why? They got it from you. And do you know how well that works? Not at all.
Invade them illegally, kill millions of people, steal the resources.
Invade them illegally and kill people and steal their resources? Yeah, that just sounds like war, asshole. Shut the fuck up and get over yourself.
And then either get thrown out or just leave. So I want you to remind me, what was the last great victory you guys had? What was the last great victory that you guys had with this mighty military? I want you to remind me of that. I'll tell you of a very recent fail, huge fucking fail, a very embarrassing defeat. Trying to get control back of the Red
Here we
Sea.
go.
What ended up
I left that
happening?
comment.
They lost control
Operation
of the Red
Praying
Sea. The
Mantis,
Houthis
8
took their
hours, and
asses
the mighty
out.
military gave air defense to
The
Iran. They got
Houthis,
wiped in
also
one
Yemen,
night.
Little Yemen, one of the poorest countries on earth, still controls the Red Sea and keep the ass of your fucking mighty navy. I bet you guys haven't heard anything about that. There's no way that was ever on your fucking media. All I heard was Trump say something, the most ridiculous fucking statement I've ever heard in my life. He said the Houthis don't want to fight anymore. They capitulated.
Alright, I'm gonna go put it this way. Now he's talking about the Houthis and shit like that. Of course he's a fucking terrorist supporter. Of course he's a terrorist supporter.
And total fucking lie. A complete and total fucking bullshit fantasy lie. What really happened is they made a deal. The Americans went to the Houthis, the Yemenis, and said, okay, look, we'll stop shooting at you, you stop shooting at us. And the Houthis agreed to that, said, fine, well, you stop shooting at us, we'll stop shooting at you. And so, what happened? The Houthis still control all the...
And that's all it takes, boys. You just prove a point, they end stream. That's right. Russia, you're nothing. Anyone who is Russian, you're nothing. Sorry, but you live in a communist state. Come move to where freedom is. Well, that's the end of this video. Sorry guys, I wanted to do a political video. Why not?